back in 2012, this was a very significant year for a lot of people. And, that was the year that I spent a good night in jail. Now, why did I get arrested? Why did I go to jail that year? Well, I was getting pulled over for many different reasons. Sometimes just for doing a California stop at a stop sign. Sometimes for running red lights. Sometimes for speeding. One time I had I think a bottle of liquor in the back seat that wasn't in a paper bag, and they made me dump it all out on the pavement. But there was one time I was driving to my new school, which was going to be Texas State University, there in San Marcos. And I was driving through Comal County in New Braunfels. Actually, deja vu, that's where I am right now. Full circle, right? I was driving through Comal County in New Braunfels, and I had maybe 3 grams on me. 3 grams of cannabis that I had got from a dealer. I don't even know how I met them. Maybe through another friend who knew another friend who knew another friend. But cannabis wasn't really my thing, but I was experimenting. And I was just driving, I was just riding, talking on the phone with one of my friends. And I had everything in the back seat. I had, my ironing board in the back seat. I had macaroni and cheese and hot dogs in the back seat. I had a television set in the back seat. I had movies in the back seat. I had everything in the car that I was going to transition from my parents' house over to this new college. And I guess I must have been following too close to this 18-wheeler. I didn't realize it because, I wasn't really paying attention. But I heard this sound. And you know the sound. Whoop, whoop. Woo. You know when you hear that sound. Woo. Whenever you hear that sound, somebody's behind you. You're about to get pulled over. I pull over, and the cop, he tells me to down the window. Now he comes to the passenger side and tells me to down the window. I down the window. He says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, officer." "No, of course not. No, sir." Was I speeding? I don't think I was speeding. He said, "You were following a little bit too close to that 18-wheeler, that truck back there. Is everything all right in here?" I was like, "Yeah, everything's good, officer. What's going on? What's the problem?" He said, and I knew something was fishy when he got a look on his face. 3 grams of cannabis are in the car. And I know this, but he doesn't know this. But he got a look on his face when I downed the window, and he said, "Is there anything in this car that I should know about?" I never forget the way he said it. He said, "Is there anything in this car, young man, that I should know about?" I said, "Why, no, officer, no." "Whatever do you mean?" He gave me one more chance. He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "I'm positive. I have no idea what you're talking about." He said, "Step out of the car, please." Step out of the car. So I stepped out of the car. He took me off to the side, and he said, "I'm going to give you one more chance. Is there anything in the car that would warrant me searching the car? Like, do you think there's anything in there that I should know about?" I said, "No, absolutely not." I said, "Okay." He called another cop. And another cop came up. And if you've ever been pulled over by a police officer and they radio for backup, copy that, 10-4, somebody's going to jail. I'm letting you know, if you ever get pulled over and behind the cop car that pulled you over, another cop car comes in, somebody's going to jail. And it was my lucky night. So the other car comes up. He starts searching the car. I think he searched the car for about 5-10 minutes. Another car comes up, like a K9 unit comes up this time. And it's a van with a dog. And the dog searches my car, starts sniffing around. Starts sniffing in my car. They take out everything in my car. Now, the reason why they continued searching was because they found the paraphernalia in the glove compartment. So they found the grinder, they found evidence that, of course, I probably did have cannabis on me. They found the evidence. So they continued searching the car. Now they got the dog in the car. They've taken out the TV, turned it upside down on the road. They've taken the ironing board out, my macaroni and cheese and hot dogs, they threw it outside. And they're just looking. Finally, maybe it's been a half hour. They've been out there for over 20 minutes. And finally, the cop looks at me. He says, look, young man. If it's less than 3 grams, we'll slap you on the wrist. We'll give you a warning. Just let us know where it is. Just tell us where it is. Like, where is it? Come on. Like, I'm like, I still denied. I said, I don't know what you mean, officer. I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? What do you want me to say? He gave the biggest sigh of exasperation. He just said, maybe 10 seconds later, one of the cops, he pulled out the little baggie that was in the little flap of the back seat. He pulled it out, the 3 grams. He said, got it. They clink. They clinked the handcuffs on me, threw me right in the back seat of the station wagon, carted me off to jail. I spent the night in jail. They searched me. They stood me up on the wall, patted me down. They put my fingerprint in the system. The cops were messing with me while I was in the precinct. They said, hey, it's okay. Like, are you high right now? My eyes are always low, so everybody thinks that I'm high. He said, are you high right now? I said, no, I'm not. He said, it's okay. It's no worries. If you are, don't be ashamed. You know, it's okay to smoke it. It's just not okay to have it. I was like, y'all are messing with me. I spent the night in jail around, a whole bunch of other characters in there. And my girlfriend at the time had to bail me out in the morning. She was not happy about that. I was not happy about that. My mother wasn't happy about that. And to this day, my dad doesn't know. To this day, my father does not know. I never told him. But what did I learn from getting arrested? What did I learn from going to jail that night? For one, weed is not for me. Cannabis is not my thing. I learned that a lot more later, but cannabis is not my thing. 2, jail is not my thing. It's not where I belong. Definitely not. And I see why people keep going back there. I see the cycle. I see how it's cyclical in nature. Because I fought that case, oh my God, for the next, I don't know, from 2012 all the way to 2015, I was in and out of the courtroom, had to get a lawyer, and they finally dismissed the case. I had to try and get it expunged off of my record. It was all this stuff. Turned into a civil case, all of this stuff. That was not worth it. The $1,000, that I paid this lawyer or whatever for that little baggie that I got that night for maybe $10 was not worth the $1,000 I had to pay the lawyer. If you've dug yourself in a hole, stop digging. Don't keep digging. If you're already in the hole, stop digging. Just surrender. Just let go. It was almost like the universe was giving me a way out. There were so many opportunities to just say, yeah, I got a little baggie in here. Just a little bag. And he might have just let me go. He might have just confiscated it and just let me go. But I kept denying. I kept lying. over and over again. Like I didn't know what he was talking about when clearly I did. And he knew that I did because he smelt it. As soon as I downed the window, he caught a huge whiff of the loud. You know, it was a loud pack in here. So that was not smart. And yeah, I was not paying attention. There was no intention. So there could have been a lot more prevention had I had a lot more cognizance and a lot more awareness, in all fairness. So here's my lesson to you, my friend. Don't keep digging the hole if you're in a situation that's out of your control. Don't keep digging. Just let go. And it might be over quicker than you know.